Hello, everyone. Imagine walking into a store and seeing a jacket that keeps you warm in the winter, a shirt that keeps you cool in the summer, and clothes that fit well, last for years, and still come at an affordable price. That's exactly what Uniqlo promises. Unlike many fast fashion brands that chase the latest trend, Uniqlo has built its reputation on reliable basics, durable fabrics, and practical innovation. What makes this interesting is that it's not just about the clothes themselves. To deliver on that promise, Uniqlo has to run a supply chain that stretches across the world and ties together design, fabric development, production, and distribution. They're not the fastest at reacting to trends, but they've created a system that makes sure their products are consistent and high quality no matter where you buy them. So today we're going to take a look at how they actually pull that off. And at the center of that story is their supply chain, which is carefully managed, highly integrated, and really the backbone of their global success. So let's walk through the main areas we'll be covering in the presentation. We will start with an introduction to Uniqlo, who they are as a company, what they stand for, and how their approach is different from the fast fashion model we see in much of the industry today. From there, we'll move into their supply chain strategy. This is where we'll break down how Uniqlo manages the full value chain end to end, from design and fabric development to production and retail. We'll look at a few concepts like the SPA model and total chain management, among others, and explain how these create efficiency, consistency, and quality across global operations. Next, we will highlight the competitive advantages that come out of this system. Things like proprietary fabric innovation, the Takumi quality control system, and economies of scale are not just operational strengths, they are strategic levers that shape Uniqlo's long-term positioning. After that, we'll compare Uniqlo to two of its biggest rivals, Zara and H&M. Each of these companies represents a different strategic trade-off in the global apparel industry. Zara has speed, H&M has cost efficiency, and Uniqlo's focus on quality and operational control. By looking at them side by side, we can see how supply chain choices directly define competitive advantage in these different companies. Finally, we'll close with some recommendations for Uniqlo's future, specifically how they can improve transparency, reduce geographic concentration risk, and leverage digital integration to strengthen both resilience and customer engagement. So with that in place, we'll start with a closer look at Uniqlo itself. Uniqlo is a global clothing retailer founded in Japan. It's best known for its range of reliable everyday basics such as jeans, chinos, and sweaters. Unlike many fast fashion competitors that release new styles almost weekly, Uniqlo takes a very different approach. Its product development cycle spans a full year, which gives the company time to research, source, and test fabrics thoroughly before coordinating with vendors to secure cost efficient, high volume production. The company places a premium on durability, high quality materials, and timeless designs rather than chasing short lived fashion trends. And that philosophy doesn't shape just what they sell, it also defines how the supply chain is built. Instead of focusing on speed above all else, the system is designed to prioritize efficiency, consistency, and innovation. In practice, this means that customers around the world can expect the same standard of quality, whether they are shopping in Tokyo, New York, or Paris. This is where we see the connection between strategy and logistics. Uniqlo's slower cycle and emphasis on timeless products give it leverage in negotiating with suppliers, in planning for scale, and in maintaining quality control that fast fashion players often sacrifice. So, with that context in mind, we can now dig into how the supply chain itself actually works from product planning at the beginning all the way through manufacturing, logistics, and then onto the store shelves. So, Uniqlo's supply chain starts with product planning, where dedicated teams research consumer needs and develop seasonal concepts. This step is critical because it makes sure every product fits the brand's philosophy of functional design and long-term wearability. From there, the process moves to cotton production and the sourcing of other raw materials. These are chosen carefully to strike a balance between cost efficiency and the quality that customers expect. And once sourced, those raw materials are transformed through fabric manufacturing into the innovative textiles that set Uniqlo apart from the competitors. The next stage is garment production, which Uniqlo manages in close collaboration with partner factories. And this partnership model is essential to maintaining both efficiency and quality. Instead of leaving suppliers on their own, Uniqlo works side by side with them to make sure standards are consistently met, even at very large scales. Once production is complete, garments are then routed through strategically placed logistics hubs. And these hubs are designed for speed and reliability, making it possible for Uniqlo to supply not only its thousands of physical stores worldwide, but also its rapidly expanding online platforms. From a logistics standpoint, this hub system reduces lead times, supports global distribution, and keeps the supply chain flexible. What makes Uniqlo's supply chain distinctive is that it doesn't end once a product is sold. The company has to build reuse and recycling programs into the system to promote sustainability and extend the life cycle of its clothing. That reflects Uniqlo's broader brand philosophy of providing long-term value instead of encouraging disposable fashion. It's also important to note that Uniqlo's product development cycle spans a full year, as I said previously. That longer cycle gives the company time to research, source, and test fabrics before those high volume production orders. And that pacing is very deliberate, and it underpins both its brand identity and its supply chain efficiency. So while fast fashion competitors focus on speed and trend turnover, Uniqlo treats time as a strategic advantage, using it to guarantee quality, consistency, and innovation at every stage. And this balance between speed and control is where Uniqlo's supply chain becomes really interesting. So to see how they manage it day to day, we need to look at the SPA model, the system that ties together design, production, and sales into one continuous loop. So SPA model stands for Specialty Store Retailer of Private Label Apparel. This model allows the company to control the entire value chain from product design to manufacturing to retail operations instead of relying on outside suppliers or distributors. By taking ownership of every stage, Uniqlo makes sure its products are consistent and aligned with its brand promise of durable, high-quality basics. And under the SPA model, Uniqlo operates a continuous planning, production, sales loop. Headquarters forecast demand using market research and sales data, and factories produce based on those forecasts, and then real-time sales information is fed back into the system to guide replenishment decisions. The effect is that if products start moving faster in one region, Uniqlo can quickly restock there while holding back in markets where demand is softer. And that dynamic response minimizes waste and avoids both stockouts and overproduction. This closed loop system ensures efficiency, responsiveness, and consistent quality across all stores worldwide. And by integrating planning, production, and sales into a single streamlined process, Uniqlo reduces costs, enforces strict quality control, and achieves operational efficiency that many traditional retailers who separate these functions simply cannot match. What really sets the SPA model apart is how it creates alignment across the entire company. Marketing, design, manufacturing, and retail are not operating in silos. So instead, they're working as one unified system, which is exactly why Uniqlo has been able to scale globally without sacrificing quality or consistency. From an international logistics perspective, that alignment means fewer disconnects between planning and execution, which is critical when you're managing suppliers and customers across dozens of markets. So Uniqlo takes it even further from the SPA model with what they call total chain management, or TCM. And this system builds off of the SPA model, but it adds a centralized coordination and weekly information sharing across the value chain, making the loop even tighter. So, unlike traditional supply chains that often operate with disconnected departments, TCM emphasizes centralized coordination and open information sharing across the entire value chain. And the goal is to make sure that every part of the company, from marketing to sales planning to store operations, is aligned around the same data and objectives. Each week, management teams from these different functions meet together to review sales data gathered through the company's point of sale, or POS, system. And this real-time information allows managers to see exactly what products are selling, where demand is strongest, and where adjustments may be needed. Using this data, the team can forecast demand and adjust inventory allocations in real time. That ensures stores have the right products available at the right time, which not only reduces waste from overstocking, but it prevents stockouts and disappointed customers. By constantly fine-tuning inventory levels, Uniqlo keeps supply closely aligned with consumer demand, something that is especially important when you're managing this large network of stores. So in essence, total chain management allows Uniqlo to operate a supply chain that is highly efficient and also remarkably responsive. And what makes it so powerful is that it accomplishes both without sacrificing quality. By breaking down silos and creating a unified decision-making process, TCM ensures that Uniqlo's supply chain functions as one integrated system rather than separate moving parts. And from a logistics perspective, that integration reduces miscommunication, it shortens decision-making cycles, and it keeps the company agile even across multiple countries and markets. And so the system is very data-driven, but it's still dependent on strong relationships. And none of that would be possible without the long-term partnerships that Uniqlo maintains with its suppliers, which play a critical role in making the entire supply chain work smoothly. And one of Uniqlo's biggest supply chain strengths is those long-term relationships with the suppliers. Unlike many of the fast fashion companies that rely heavily on short-term contracts and constant price competition, Uniqlo takes a very different approach. It actually invests in its partnerships that are built on stability and trust. And that long-term commitment means suppliers are not treated as interchangeable vendors, but as strategic partners who play a direct role in the success of Uniqlo's company. So China continues to be Uniqlo's primary production base because of its world-class infrastructure. It has advanced logistic networks and highly skilled textile workforce. At the same time, Uniqlo has worked to diversify its manufacturing footprint by expanding into countries such as Bangladesh and Vietnam. This allows the company to access lower labor costs while also reducing the dependency on a single region. And that balance between China's reliability and the cost advantages of the other countries give Uniqlo both resilience and flexibility in its global supply chain. These partnerships also go far beyond simple garment production. Suppliers actively share technology and innovation with Uniqlo, which leads to improved efficiency and higher quality fabrics. And many of Uniqlo's most recognizable products, like Heat Tech or the ultralight down jacket, and collaborations with partners such as Toray and Airism, were all developed through these long-term relationships. So there is also a joint commitment to ethical labor practices and compliance standards, which helps strengthen trust and ensure stability over time. Altogether, this close integration with suppliers ensures consistency, efficiency, and reliability across Uniqlo's entire global network. It's one of the main reasons why the company has been able to scale worldwide while still maintaining the same standards of quality in every market. And while these human partnerships are essential, Uniqlo also relies heavily on technology to make its supply chain as agile and responsive as possible. So technology is central to Uniqlo's supply chain. It's one of the most important tools the company uses is RAIN RFID or RFID, also known as radio frequency identification, which allows every garment to be tracked in real time as it moves from factories to warehouses to retail stores. And this level of tracking gives Uniqlo complete visibility into its inventory worldwide. And with that information, the company can forecast demand more accurately and plan replenishment with much greater precision. Stores are able to respond quickly to local trends or unexpected shifts in demand, which reduces the risk of both stockouts and overstocking, as I stated previously. For a retailer operating across dozens of countries, that visibility is especially valuable because it cuts through the uncertainty that usually comes with cross-border logistics and long shipping lead times. But the benefits go well beyond just inventory management. RFID and other digital tools support data-driven decision-making across the entire supply chain. At the factory level, production schedules can be adjusted based on updated demand signals. At logistics hubs, distribution planning can be optimized so products move faster and reach the right regions on time. So, for example, if demand for ultralight down jackets spikes in Europe during a cold snap, RFID data allows Uniqlo to reroute stock quickly without waiting weeks for a new production run. And what that really does is reduce the bullwhip effect, the distortion that often happens when information is delayed or inaccurate. Another important point is that these systems don't just make Uniqlo faster, they also improve accountability. By having real-time traceability, the company can monitor where products are being made, how they're moving, and whether suppliers are meeting standards. And that's critical not just for efficiency, but also for sustainability reporting and regulatory compliance, areas where global retailers are facing much more scrutiny. Altogether, these tools make Uniqlo's supply chain not only efficient, but also agile and globally responsive. They ensure that the right products are in the right place at the right time, no matter where it is in the world, and everybody experiences the same level of service and quality. These technological investments are a big reason why Uniqlo has been able to scale globally while keeping control of quality. And unlike Zara, which uses RFID mainly to accelerate trend cycles, or H&M, which is still catching up in digital integration, Uniqlo uses technology to reinforce its core strategy of consistency and long-term reliability. But technology is only one part of the story. To really understand how Uniqlo stands apart, we need to take a look at the broader competitive advantages that drive its success. The competitive advantage Uniqlo has it comes from several interrelated factors that work together to give the company a strong position in the global apparel market. First, their focus on fabric innovation sets them apart. Product lines like Heat Tech provide warmth without bulk, while Airism collaborations and other advanced textiles create fabrics that are breathable, lightweight, and highly functional. These products are not just clever marketing, they address real consumer needs and provide practical value, which builds everyday loyalty. To make this possible, Uniqlo works closely with partners like Toray through long-term agreements, securing proprietary and high-performance materials that competitors can't easily copy. Another cornerstone of their advantage is the Takumi system. Takumi are highly skilled Japanese textile artisans, and Uniqlo employs about 400 of them. These experts are deployed to factories around the world where they train staff, enforce rigorous standards, and embed artisanal knowledge directly into the production process. And this hands-on approach ensures that garments remain consistent no matter where they're made. It's a level of quality control that's very difficult for fast fashion competitors to replicate, since most of them prioritize speed and cost efficiency over precision and consistency. The third advantage comes from scale. By focusing on a relatively narrow range of everyday essentials, using core materials across multiple styles, and placing very large production orders, Uniqlo is able to lower costs, they gain bargaining power with mills and suppliers, and keep quality uniform across global markets. This focus on scale not only drives efficiency, but also allows the company to standardize processes worldwide. Altogether, these factors, innovation, embedded quality control, and scale efficiencies, form a competitive advantage that is both robust and sustainable. They position Uniqlo as a different kind of player in the fashion industry, one that competes not on speed, but on reliability, consistency, and customer trust. And while these advantages, and with these advantages in mind, it's useful to compare Uniqlo's model directly to competitors like Zara and H&M to see where their strategies align and where they diverge. So Uniqlo's main fast fashion competitors are Zara and H&M, as I stated previously. So as we know, Uniqlo focuses on quality, scale, and operational efficiency rather than speed. And the company takes a deliberate approach, which means it doesn't react quickly to short-term fashion trends. And while that may limit its ability to chase the newest styles, it does ensure consistent quality and a strong operational control across all of its markets. Zara, on the other hand, represents the archetype of fast fashion. It operates a vertically integrated supply chain with significant production based in Europe, mainly in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. And this proximity to its largest market allows Zara to design, produce, and deliver new styles within a matter of weeks. Its centralized warehouses and advanced use of RFID technology give Zara unmatched speed and flexibility compared to Uniqlo, which translates into rapid inventory turnover and minimal unsold stock. H&M has historically taken another approach, relying heavily on cost-driven global outsourcing. So by sourcing from a wide network of suppliers across Asia, it has been able to keep prices low, but it has struggled with slower responsiveness to fashion trends. And in recent years, H&M has tried to offset this by regionalizing some production in Turkey and Central America to shorten lead times. However, despite these moves, H&M still lacks the direct control and vertical integration of Zara, as well as the consistent quality emphasis that defines Uniqlo. So when we look at these three companies side by side, the trade-offs are clear. Zara competes on speed and agility, H&M on low-cost production, and Uniqlo differentiates itself by emphasizing long-term quality and innovative fabrics instead of chasing that fast-changing fashion cycle. This positioning shows that Uniqlo isn't just another fast fashion player, it's pursuing a different kind of strategy built around stability and trust. And even though this strategy has clear strengths, Uniqlo still faces challenges and opportunities to improve. So next, we'll take a look at those areas where they can strengthen its supply chain for the future. The first area is transparency and sustainability. Uniqlo has already started publishing an impact on the planet and society section on select product pages, which discloses the country of manufacture and gives customers a window into sourcing practices. And expanding this initiative globally wouldn't only improve supply chain visibility, but also reinforce brand trust and meet the growing demand for ethical and sustainable practices across multiple markets. In a global industry where ESG concerns are shaping consumer choices and regulatory pressures, this could be a real differentiator. The second opportunity is geographic diversification. Right now, about 80% of Uniqlo's garment production is concentrated in China. And while China offers scale, infrastructure, and cost advantages, this heavy reliance also creates systemic risk, whether that's from geopolitical tensions, labor cost inflation, or supply disruptions. Fast retailing has already begun localizing some production in markets such as Indonesia to shorten lead times and align output with regional demand. And expanding that diversification strategy will be key to balancing efficiency with resilience. For a company of Uniqlo's size, risk management across regions is no longer optional, it's strategic. The third opportunity lies in digital capabilities. Fast Retailing's Ariake project has already made strong progress by linking factories, warehouses, and stores into one system through advanced information technology. This integration enables real-time data sharing, faster decision-making, and tighter inventory control. But there's still more potential. Adding artificial intelligence for demand forecasting and inventory planning could make the supply chain even more responsive, cutting down on both excess inventory and missed sales opportunities. Finally, there's a clear opportunity for customer-facing digital expansion. Right now, e-commerce only accounts for about 15% of total sales, and by accelerating integration between physical and digital stores and by expanding online services, Uniqlo can deliver a seamless omni-channel experience. That not only increases convenience for customers, but also gives the company more opportunities to communicate its value, durability, quality, and functional design in a digital-first way. Altogether, these opportunities, greater transparency, broader geographic diversification, stronger digital capabilities, and expanded e-commerce would significantly enhance supply chain resilience, sustainability, and agility. These are exactly the areas that can secure Uniqlo's long-term competitive advantage in a fast-changing global market. And with those opportunities on the table, we'll wrap up by summarizing the key takeaways from Uniqlo's supply chain strategy and its outlook for the future. So the strategy may not make Uniqlo the fastest player in the industry, but it has allowed the company to carve out a very different and sustainable position in the global apparel market. The company's competitive advantages, its commitment to fabric innovation, the Takumi system, its ability to leverage scale, all create a strong foundation that rivals Zara and H&M that they can't replicate. When we compare these three companies side by side, the strategic choice is clear. Uniqlo deliberately prioritizes operational consistency and long-term quality over the agility needed for rapid trend turnover. And this is what differentiates the brand in an increasingly crowded and competitive fashion market. Looking forward, there are still opportunities for improvement, expanding transparency and sustainability initiatives, continuing to diversify production beyond China, and leveraging advanced digital tools and omni-channel e-commerce will all be essential steps in strengthening the company's position. In conclusion, Uniqlo's supply chain is not just about moving garments from factory to store. It's about a carefully managed, highly integrated system that delivers reliable, high-quality products, supports innovation, and builds lasting customer trust worldwide. Uniqlo is well positioned to sustain its global success for many years to come. Thank you very much for watching.